So, with Dragon Ball Xenoverse being officially revealed unintentionally by Bandai Namco, Dragon Ball Hype, who's pretty reliable, pretty much knows his stuff and all that. And hey, I'm gonna put in my thoughts, but he basically gave us a rundown update about what Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 / Dragon Ball Project Game Age 1000 will be about. And quite frankly, we haven't really had much news since the initial trailer because Bandai Namco hasn't really done a lot of promotion for it. So yeah, let's get straight into what Dragon Ball Hype has posted and what we know about the game so far. So for one, it's been in development for 6 to 7 years. 6 to 7 years is a pretty big time. Now I believe like Sparking Zero, they had that for like a couple years as well, but realistically, this wasn't a case where they were just gonna do development of the game in like 1 to 2 years ago. With how big Xenoverse series is, it obviously makes sense that, hey, you know what? We're gonna take some time, do a lot of this, yada, 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 maybe expand the story mode, expand the world, introduce a lot of things, make it a big thing. What I'd be curious about is if Xenoverse 3 was originally intended to release years ago, but then they decided to either scrap that idea or kind of like put it in a back burner, especially with games like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Dragon Ball The Breakers, Sparking Zero, etc. Now 2, Toriyama has been heavily involved in the project, in its world building, characters, and many aspects. So what this tells me is that we're going to be getting even more new characters, probably ones that weren't in Heroes, that weren't in any other game so far, and obviously Dragon Ball Daima or anything. So you can expect new OCs, definitely. Who those will be, not really sure, but I'm sure we'll know as the time goes on. But him being involved in the project, very good. Obviously, he's not gonna. Let's see what else. Many elements and settings were packed in this project than any other game in history. Now, this one is a bit more vague because don't really know what this could mean specifically. Many elements and settings were packed in this project. Maybe it means like the world, like you know how Kantan City is like big, then maybe we're in like a new type of world, or maybe we could go to different places, maybe different planets, or at least expanded upon. Many elements and settings were packed in this project than any other game in history, but at least what they're trying to say is that, hey, this game is going to be a little bit more revolutionary, or at least a bit more, when you're looking a bit more forward to look forward to. I bet that doesn't even make sense. Game will allow players to experience a new Dragon Ball world. So obviously, this likely means I create a character. They're probably gonna go into like a new, massive new world. Could it be, same? It's like Xenoverse-ish, but much bigger and more expansive. Age 1000 is set quite far into the future of the Dragon Ball timeline. Now, I don't know if it's actually been technically said 1000 years into the future, but I'm guessing that might be the implication. But either way, what we know is that it's going to be set further beyond what Xenoverse 2 originally takes place in. So, I mean, not really much else for me to say other than it'll be cool to see if we'll still have the Supreme Kai of Time and feature Trunks, or how they're going to be different, or what's going to change, especially in terms of power, dialogue, and how they will have an impact on the original Xenoverse 3 story. The game will feature never before seen characters. I think we talked about this earlier. But yeah, never before seen characters. So if they're saying never before seen characters, then to me, this means, hey, we're not gonna just put in characters from Dragon Ball Heroes and, paste them into this game and say that's brand new. They're saying game will feature never before seen characters, which is likely gonna be like just, I don't know, maybe like, will be interesting, more interesting designs, which, hey, I'm open to it. Have we had any much information since then? Not necessarily, but this is all the things that we know about Dragon Ball Game Age 1000 so far. And of course, if there was any doubts that this was Xenoverse 3, then This guy, who is a Xenoverse 2 modder, says, the easiest place to confirm that this is the same art direction is to check the belt. It is 1-to-1 with the current Xenoverse model. Could they have used the model just for this? Well, yeah, but looks like a duck, acts like a duck, smells like a duck, it's probably a duck. Yeah, and then we look at this. I'm not even talking, like the belt is legit the same model. What's interesting about this is that although the model is the same, it is thinner and seems to be higher up. They definitely spent time revamping the models, which par for the course for doing a brand new game. And same thing applies to Piccolo. He's using the exact same belt from Xenoverse, but a lot of the other parts either seem new or at least tweaked. With that said, I'm gonna have to, my favorite part of doing these videos is looking into some of the comments, whether it be good versus garbage versus trash. So let's kind of like go into this. Finally, now I can probably speak my actual mind now, get out of YouTube mode. So let's look at this. Why am I still seeing people cope that Age 1000 isn't Xenoverse 3? Do you think that someone at Bandai Namco accidentally made a playlist called Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 and accidentally put Project Age 1000 teaser into said playlist? Like, LMAO. I'm not gonna lie, part of me did kind of think that this was like intentional. You know, they tell like, hey, you know, we want you to make a playlist called Xenoverse 3, put that into it, and hey, we're gonna delete it and act like this was unintentional when in reality this was part of our promotional purposes. That's the conspiracy side. Whether it's true or not, I don't really know. This guy says, I mean, Xenoverse 2 is still processing of making more DLCs. First of all, as far as I know, nothing has been said in terms of whether or not there will be a DLC after Future Saga Chapter 4. So let's cut that shit out. If it's really confirmed, shouldn't the Xenoverse 2 team make any announcement of last DLC, which lead to a third game? Also the model, well, the thing is, they don't have to do the thing that you want. People don't really realize that developers, publishers, they can do things however they want. So they don't have to announce, they don't have to say that, hey, this is Xenoverse 3. It wasn't Bandai Namco Japan nor America. Seen plenty of outside countries of companies make errors and mistakes which the main brand of the company had to go fix. I'm gonna ignore the last part because it seems ridiculous, but I would say, yeah, I mean, I think this one is the most likely scenario, even if the other scenario isn't an impossibility. In this situation, someone who probably isn't really too, honestly, someone probably fucked up. That's my guess. Now let's look at this. They get Xenoverse 3, we gotta survive off of 4 mid-episodes of Naruto that's been delayed for 2 years. They got Raging Blast 2. I'm tired and yes, I'm hating. Wasn't this the same guy who was saying, oh, them Dragon Ball YouTubers, or hey, I do a lot of anime games? And it's like, bro, it's like, do you people not have a clue that Dragon Ball games have pretty much been the most popular types of anime games and much more safe? But then they want to go after Dragon Ball tubers because of clickbait and all that. Well, I do clickbait, but that's besides the point. The point is, this guy is a undisciplined, overweight creature. I haven't looked at how much Xenoverse 2 story I gotta play. Okay, so you're not really even a fan. One thing I pray they touched on is Xenoverse 3 is the PvP. Well, of course they're gonna touch up on it. That's kind of like the point of brand new games. Brand new games always touch up on stuff. Now, is it gonna be a big focus? Who knows? Personally, for me, I hope not, because I don't really care much about the whole PvP aspect. That's just me. Put in make the focus a lot more single player based, because we have these brainlets who we want to focus on the multiplayer, or this game should be super competitive, and anyone who doesn't agree with me is a casual or wrong. Next, we're gonna have spaces of no-name creators making this is what's the problem with the Xenoverse 3 community, or the problem with Xenoverse 3 PvP. It's like, come on. What are we doing here? Come on, do something better with your time. How I'm feeling after waiting over a decade for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 and the Dragon Ball Super Moral Saga anime. I mean, honestly, definitely a good chance tomorrow or like a Complete Ultra Instinct could be DLC, or it could be in the base game. Actually, I kind of hope it's in the DLC. I'm actually looking forward to a lot of the stuff being DLC, so hey, gives me more content to do, and I want to be milked. Pause. This person says, and people called me crazy when I said Dragon Ball Age 1000 is better than Super Beerus, and I swear, sometimes it feels like I'm regressing here. It really feels like I'm regressing here. It's like, am I just that old now, or is the new generation just becoming more ridiculous? What the hell? I don't even want to argue against this, but man, this is the difference between people who have been here for a very long time versus new age fans, whether it be Gen Z or Gen Alpha, some Gen Z and Gen Alpha anyway. It feels like the TikTok generation has really destroyed a lot of people. Anyway, that's it for now. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you're new. Don't have to hold back. I can say whatever the hell I want. And yeah,